WCBI News at 6 starts now.
Good evening, everyone. There are new details in the investigation into former Monroe County Sheriff Cecil Cantrell. The state auditor's office is accusing him of authorizing inmate labor to construct political campaign signs.
Our Quentin Smith has been in Monroe County talking to residents and county leaders. So, Quentin, how are they reacting to this news today?
Well, Andrea, residents I spoke with say this news paints the county and sheriff's department in a negative light. And the state auditor's office believes former Sheriff Cecil Cantrell resigned as a result of their findings. Now, residents are hoping the new administration will bring a new attitude to the department. It's a clear and sunny day in Monroe County, but for longtime resident Joyce Vassar, a dark cloud continues to loom over the sheriff's department.
I'm glad that we do have a change, which is what we need. We need new ideas, and we need honesty and integrity.
On Tuesday, Cecil Cantrell abruptly resigned and cleared out his office. Shortly before the primary election, a video showing what appears to be an inmate putting together a campaign sign with Cantrell's name on it began circulating. The state auditor's office began looking into that incident. Those findings have now been released. The affidavit states that Cecil Cantrell, acting in his official capacity, did unlawfully, willfully, and knowingly authorize the use of inmate labor within the correctional system under his control to construct personal political campaign signage.
It sort of shocked me, really. I didn't expect nothing like this to happen.
The auditor's office believes its findings prompted Cantrell to resign before his term was over. However, even with these developments, District 3 Supervisor Chip Chisholm says he thinks the new administration will be able to regain the community's trust.
I don't think we got no problem restoring it. That we have no problem with law enforcement, and I don't think people have got nothing to worry about.
But residents like Vassar think change has to start with the department restoring transparency, fairness, and equality to everyone.
I'd like to see it run where all people were treated alike, not the big people or the little people, just all county people.
Vassar says she already has an idea on what she'd like to see from the next administration.
I would like to see him go in there, make sure he has trained officers, make sure that his door is open for the people of the county, and to be a man for all people, not just some.
Now, we reached out to Cantrell. He didn't want to go on camera, but he did say he gave his all serving the people of Monroe County. At this time, it's unclear if Cantrell will face any charges, but if he is charged and convicted, he could face up to a $1,000 fine, 6 months in jail, or both punishments.
The race for Monroe County Sheriff now only has one candidate. The Republican candidate, former Sheriff Andy Hood, dropped out this morning. That leaves only Justice Court Judge Kevin Crook in the race. Crook beat incumbent Cecil Cantrell in the Democratic primary. Monroe County supervisors meet Friday to appoint a sheriff. We are told they plan to appoint Crook as the new sheriff.
On to Lamar County, Alabama now. Well, first it was the sheriff. Now his longtime second in command is under fire. The chief deputy at Pickens County, that is Pickens County, pardon me, the sheriff's department there, the chief deputy has been arrested.
Our Riley Livingston talks with investigators in Carrollton about why, and she joins us live in the studio with more. Riley?
Joey, investigators were tight-lipped today about the arrest of Chief Deputy Jonathan Gann, but what they did tell us has some residents concerned.
Chief Deputy Jonathan Gann is in the hot seat after the State Bureau of Investigation arrested him Tuesday night on charges of theft of property in the second degree and tampering with physical evidence. District Attorney Andy Hamlin says Pickens County Sheriff Todd Hall came to him last week with concerns.
The information was in regard to certain improprieties that could constitute criminal acts that had been carried out by Chief Deputy Gann. We discussed those matters and determined that an investigation was warranted.
But that investigation had to be handled outside of Pickens County.
It came to a point where we needed to ask for an independent investigation. He requested that the state Wcbi get involved.
Investigators say even though an arrest has been made, the investigation isn't over.
We are
relentless in our pursuit for justice. This is a very fluid, ongoing investigation. So there's very limited details outside of the actual charges and what they imply that we will release at this time.
Having 2 top law enforcement officers brought up on criminal charges is discouraging for many Pickens County residents.
Really, my feelings are sadness. Whether he's guilty or not, I will not judge. But it's sad to have a public figure go down like that.
Many of the residents we talked to today didn't want to go on camera, but some said they weren't surprised about today's or yesterday's arrest, rather.
A Lowndes County grand jury does not indict a Columbus policeman involved in a deadly officer-involved shooting. That shooting happened in November of 2017 outside of the Premier Lounge on 22nd Street South. Officer Jarrett Booth was called to the nightclub about a disturbance. At that time, sources told WCBI Booth was talking with a security guard and heard 2 shots. He ran toward the gunfire and saw men fighting over a gun. Now, our sources say as Ray Davis turned toward Booth, the gun was pointed at the officer. That's when Booth fired. Davis died a short time later. The Attorney General's office presented the case to the grand jury and confirmed the no-bill results. Time now to get a first look at our forecast on this Wednesday. Meteorologist Trevor Burchett is here with us. Hey, Trevor.
Hey, Andrea, there are some storms out on the radar, but I think everybody can find something a little beautiful in the storms once in a while. Here's a look in Nanawaya. They're seeing a beautiful rainbow right now. That's sent in to us by Lara Morgan. Lara, thanks for that. Here's a look at that radar, and you can see most of the storm activity is centered over Wcbi County right now. Macon got into some pretty hefty thunderstorms earlier. These are slowly drifting their way into the Golden Triangle, so in the next 30 minutes to an hour or so, we'll keep a close eye on these and see if we can get into any of that activity here in Columbus. I'll have that full forecast coming up in just a few minutes.
North Mississippi is no stranger to tornadoes. Now towns and counties are working to provide safe spaces for residents and first responders. After a deadly tornado outbreak back in 2011, Chickasaw County applied for grants to build shelters. There are now over 30 that can hold 35 people each. Columbus leaders would like to follow that example.
We've turned in what's called a notice of intent to tell the state that we would like to be put on the list to build up to 20 storm shelters. We learned in our February storm that our first responders are the ones that are in the field rescuing people. They're pulling trees off of houses. They're responding to the emergency needs. And right now we don't have a storm shelter for them.
Columbus has applied for a disaster grant to pay for the shelters, totaling around $96,000. Joe Dillon says if the city is approved, construction will begin immediately.
From a first day at kindergarten to a first day of co-op, we have a unique look back on one student's career.
We'll have his story when we come back.
Welcome back, everyone. This is one of those full circle moments. Back in 2002, our cameras documented a Starkville kindergarten student's first day of school.
Well, that story was actually my assignment. I caught up with that little boy who actually is now a senior at Mississippi State University, but he says he's still living off the lessons he learned in kindergarten. Take a look.
Mississippi State architect student Daniel Ruff is preparing for his first day co-oping with a firm in Texas.
And I'll be working there for a year, just getting some experience.
Rewind 17 years.
Well, we're gonna glue some stuff and we're gonna eat lunch.
We were also there when Daniel was preparing for his first day of kindergarten.
That was like the big joke of the video, and yep. So now here I am, still gluing stuff.
Daniel doesn't remember our cameras being at his house or following him to Sudeth Elementary that morning, but he says his family has watched the story a time or two over the years.
We always get a crack out of it, siblings, you know, hold it against me my whole life probably, but it's funny.
Also funny and prophetic even, the supplies Daniel told us he bought to get ready for kindergarten.
Pencils and pens and markers and glue and scissors.
And those supplies are still in his backpack as an architect student.
They just get a little bit more expensive once you come to architecture school, but pretty much the same stuff, just fancier glue, fancier pencils.
So this is to mark the entrance from this side?
Alexis Gregory is one of his professors.
And so he had some very beautiful models, conceptual models that he made last year in the studio that I taught him in. So he's definitely gotten really good at gluing over the years.
Daniel says he at first had big dreams of designing skyscrapers in big cities, but his experiences in the program have reshaped his goals.
I've kind of realized like ecological architecture and stuff like that, you know, helping the environments.
That's what we love to hear.
Dr. Angie Bourgeois is the dean of MSU's College of Architecture, Art, and Design. She says Daniel's growth and passion show in his work.
It's not just the aesthetics, it's not just the process of design, but it's the making a positive impact on people.
So everything you need to know, you really do learn in kindergarten.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, pretty much. You know, I've still used that coming here.
Well, after his year-long co-op, Daniel says that he will return to finish up his 5th year, and then hopefully he'll get a job with an architecture firm. That was a fun story.
Indeed. Teachers' assistants are often the backbone of the classroom and help keep things running smoothly. Geneva Rowe, our Educator of the Week, does that and more every day. Rowe is the teacher's assistant at Bell Shivers Middle School in Aberdeen, and her school year is off to a busy start, helping with 5th graders with math, multiplication, division, and using decimals. Now, to nominate an educator, visit our website, wcbi.com.
Some storm clouds building up south of Columbus on the Alpha Insurance Camera Network. I'll let you know how long these storms will last coming up right after this.
WCBI's Educator of the Week is brought to you by Food Giant, where your neighbors are the owners. Here's your WCBI First Alert weather forecast.
Check out this view from the Alpha Insurance Camera Network in downtown Columbus. We've pointed it off to the south, and you can see lots of storm clouds bubbling off in the distance. We're all dry in Columbus right now, but you can see there are some showers and thunderstorms on the radar. A few of those coming through Wcbi County and the Macon area right now, and we've also got some showers over to the west along I-55 coming through portions of Montgomery and Grenada. You can also, here's a better look at those showers coming through Macon, right there along Highway 45, coming up into the Brooksville area and just starting to creep their way into southern portions of Lowndes County. These are continuing to weaken, but wouldn't be surprised if we see a shower or two through portions of Oktibbeha and Lowndes County, maybe even a rumble of thunder here in the next few minutes. You see those showers also dwindling and pushing out of our area to the west into the Delta, and those will continue to push that way over the next hour or so. Here's a look at temperatures. We're 89 in Columbus, 77 in Meridian, where we had some rain earlier, 90 in Tupelo. That's the warm spot in our area. We are a little warmer off to the north, though, 93 right now in Memphis. Heat index values are pretty hot as well. Feels like 97 still in Columbus. 99 is what it feels like in Tupelo. Feels like 104 over in the Delta in Greenville. Very hot over there. For tonight, we're going to stay pretty mild. 72 for our low, maybe an isolated evening storm or two, but most should dwindle out past midnight. We might see some patchy fog tomorrow morning, especially in the areas that saw rain this afternoon, so keep that in mind as you head out to work and school tomorrow. Here's a look at tomorrow's forecast. Temperatures not quite as hot, but still pretty warm. We'll top out at 91 in Columbus, 92 in West Point, 90 for our high in Tupelo, 90 as well in Eupora, and 88 for our high over in Winona. Once again, isolated and scattered showers and storms are possible into the afternoon and evening hours. And you can see that right now on the AccuWeather 7-day forecast. Rain chance is going to stay in play for the next 7 days. Best chances right now, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So if you've got weekend plans, keep that umbrella handy. Rain chances slowly go down into early next week, but we'll keep it at a 40% shot for Monday. So basically, be ready. Scattered showers and thunderstorms possible any day of the next 7.
All right, thanks, Trevor. A big heads up over to Starkville. Water is cut off to much of South Starkville due to a water main break. Repairs are estimated to take an hour. Once water is cleared from the street, this area will be under a boil water notice for the next 2 days. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
WCBI Sports with Tom Ebel is brought to you by your local Ford dealers. Go further.
It's the most wonderful time of year and time yet again to announce our game of the week. To kick off the 2019 season, we had to do it big. And the only way to do that is to feature one of the best rivalries in the state of Mississippi. The Toothpick Bowl era is over. It's time for a new era, a new name. It's the Highway 14 Bowl. Two of the top football programs in the state, 35 miles apart, directly east-west on Highway 14. The Louisville Wildcats taking on the Knoxville County Tigers, a new version of Master vs. Apprentice. Tyrone Shorter and the Wildcats will face Teddy Young and the Tigers inside the Tiger Den. 14 state championships combined, starting the season with a bang. We'll be live from Knoxville County at 5 and 6 on Friday to kick off the 2019 high school football season. To the high school football tour, just 2 more stops left, saving some of the best for last. Stop number 59 features one of the favorites in 6A, the Starkville Yellow Jackets. Starkville will have to replace a ton of Division I talent from a year ago, but it's always next man up in Jacket Country.
WCBI's 60 Schools in 60 Days is brought to you by Sparklight.
It's state championship or bust when you suit up in the black and yellow. Starkville fell short of its goal in 2018, falling to eventual state champ Horn Lake in the second round. So what did head coach Chris Jones do? Surrounded himself with winners. The Jackets adding coordinators Randall Montgomery and Rashawn Westerfield from 4A champion Louisville. DC Charles Heron brings championship pedigree from West Point. Jones hoping their winning ways can bring back a gold ball to Starkville.
Winning is contagious, and if you get the right guys around you, I feel like you're going to always have a chance because winners just know how to do stuff the right way. They're going to prepare, they're going to work hard, and they're going to lead their kids the right way. So I feel like we got a pretty good staff, and hopefully it'll pay off in the long run.
Starkville returns plenty of talent in 2019, led by the lethal connection between Luke Altmaier and Rufus Harvey. Another year of a loaded skill group for Starkville has the Jackets feeling the sky's the limit offensively.
I feel very confident with them back there. We had to work on our condition for a couple years now. I feel like we got it down pat now.
Yeah, it's good to have those guys around. They help me, tremendously. They're great players. They're great leaders as well. They come out every day and they practice hard. They show it out on Friday night.
Everybody knows, that every league is quarterback driven, so whether it's Pee Wee League or, college ball or NFL, if you got a quarterback, you got a chance. And I feel like we got a pretty good quarterback, and he got some good toys to play with around him. We got some players who can make plays, and his job is to kind of, be a point guard, just distribute the ball and get his guys the ball in space, and, just make the right decision.
Most of the starters returning in 2019 knows what it takes to reach a state championship, playing as freshmen and sophomore on the 2017 team. Last season's disappointing end has the Yellow Jackets refocused on another deep playoff run.
We know what it takes to be great. We have a bunch of coaches who, lead us to be great, and that's what it takes, after practice and all season. In the cold weather in January and February, you have to get together with your guys, work.
And that year, everybody came together, it was just like, all the pieces was filled up. We ain't just finished strong. So, and this year, we're going to finish strong and we're going to do what we got to do and, and go and get a gold ball.
Starkville's season begins on the road at Brandon this Friday. With the Yellow Jackets on the high school football tour, Tom Ebel, WCBI Sports.
Showers and thunderstorms possible anytime over the next 7 days, but temperature's going to go down just a little bit for the weekend.
All right, and football is officially back. Our second End Zone preview show is coming up next. We'll see you next time.